Today I kind of just wanted to talk about authenticity and where I'm at in my journey to be a more authentic person. So this is not scripted or anything. I will try to make minimal cuts. I do have ADHD, so for your sake, I will make edits and jump cuts, but hopefully it'll still make sense at the end of everything. I'm someone that just struggles in social environments. I tend to overanalyze the room, and I pick up on small social cues, and if I'm being fair, typically those cues, that intuition I feel is likely more right than wrong. And but having that hypervigilance just turned up is not good for your mental health. I liken that turned upness of like social anxiety to when my mom as a child, she got hearing aids for the first time, and she kind of was like, oh my gosh, do you guys hear that? What is that noise? Because her hearing aids were turning up the volume on everything around her. There was no picking and choosing of what she could focus on. Everything is amplified. And I feel like that same level of just overwhelm when it comes to social situations and trying to find peace and connection with people. I can overanalyze them. And again, you know, typically I'm right. But I think that there is and you can say that I'm weird and be like, that's not true, but there is a certain vibe that I think I can put out sometimes, that because I'm overanalyzing someone, they can see that I see them, even if it's from a subconscious level. That's my theory on that. And so when they don't want to be seen and I can see them, it makes them uncomfortable and not want to be in my presence. It can also be I'm a completely uninteresting person and no one likes me, but I think that that can be overwhelming, and I tend to hate small talk. I want to get to know you as a person, and I think a lot of people are running around masking. They're running around living an inauthentic life. And so when I'm asking them, hey, I'd like to see you, for who you really are, tell me about you, tell me about what hurts in your life, tell me what's really going on, when there's no friendship to begin with, I think that's hard for people, and that's a hard ask. And I do this, you know, to get to know the person, but also for me. I do this to understand where someone is coming from, and I do this to assess my safety in this situation. Having trauma in my childhood, I need to know that this person is safe before I connect with them. I need to know. And so what I've done is, okay, I'll make space for someone to open up to me by sharing more about myself than is what is acceptable. And I haven't figured that part out yet. I haven't figured out how to be fun. I swear I can be fun. I tend to just be serious up front, and until I can trust you, and then I like loosen up a little bit and I can feel free to be silly without judgment. And I think that there is a fear in me about showing somebody this is who I am and them rejecting me. Yeah, that is something for therapy, and I'm really excited because I just changed therapists. I decided to focus back in on the trauma while I've let go of a lot of things that have built resentment in me based off of the person I received trauma from. The beliefs that were created are still there. A couple weeks ago, I watched The Wisdom of Trauma, which I think is like a documentary, I think you would call it, from Gabor Mate, who is a leader in trauma. And it was very interesting. One of the things that I learned from that movie was that the connection between ourselves and other people is attachment. That's what we would call an attachment, right? And that without attachment, we die. You know, if we were a baby and there was no one to attach to, we would die because we're not being fed, we're not being held, and there's no one to soothe our emotions. And we know, you know, experts in trauma now understand that trauma isn't the event that happened to you, but the emotions that you felt in the darkness when you were alone with those emotions. So the very privileged have trauma as well as the very non-privileged, and no one can really escape it. There is no nationality or skin color or personal creed that can be absolved of trauma. It exists. So while attachment is our connection to others and brings us a sense of belonging, the sense of belonging to ourselves comes from an attachment to ourselves, which we would call authenticity. And when we lack attachment to other people, when we lack a sense of belonging, what do we try to do? We try to fit in. And I have definitely been guilty of this. I change myself, I morph myself into something I think is more palatable for other people. And that is where we lose our authenticity and we lose our connection to self. And that's what I'm trying to build over the next few months, years. I don't know how long it's gonna take. And for me, showing up in these videos like this is just a way for me to be open. You know, I started this channel based off of books and stuff, and it was a way for me to like express myself and to talk. And then when I wasn't reading, I felt guilty about not reading. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to be more expansive. I need to allow myself the freedom to express, the freedom to speak, the freedom to just be myself somewhere that is not just within my current circle of, you know, my inner circle. And so that's where I'm at right now. That's what I'm working on. I've been doing a self-expression challenge on TikTok, and it's been difficult. I'm not gonna lie. There is a heavy fear on my chest of being so reliant on this cloak of invisibility to protect me from potential harm, because that was my coping mechanism as a kid. I would hide in order to avoid the hurt and the yelling and the physical harm and just to avoid that conflict. The cloak of invisibility that I used as a child to protect myself is not serving the adult version of me, because I'm no longer there. I'm no longer a helpless child. I am a successful, grown, mostly well-adjusted woman. And I have amazing friends. I have few friends, but the ones that I have are amazing. I have a wonderful partner, and I feel so lucky. Yep, that's happening. Ooh. Because just a few years ago, I was really suffering like deep depression, and my life is very different than it was 4 years ago. And I'm so grateful for my life. Do I wish that I could contribute more to society? Yes. Do I know how to do that? No. And I think that I have a good relationship with the people in my life, and I have good boundaries with the people in my life, in my close circles. And it's just beyond that comfort zone where I am still a scared person. I'm still fearful of telling the truth. I'm still fearful of being authentically myself. And that's what we're working on. Yep, I already said that before, but this is ADHD. And I don't know if any of this made any sense, but we're just gonna roll with it and not try to be perfect and not try to be something that I'm not. This is truly where I am right now in my pursuit of a personal connection. While I hope that this was helpful, I keep remembering a quote from Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic where she says that you should not create for other people, that you should create for you. Because when you create for you, there is an authenticity that's there, and the byproduct of what you create will ultimately help other people because we're all human. So I'm hoping that this mishmash of words was somewhat helpful, and if not, I will try again another day. And I hope you're doing wonderful, and I'll see you next time.